You cannot use one resume to apply for several jobs in Canada. It's not going to work for you. Are you a new immigrant in Canada or an international student wondering how to land your first job fast? Or probably you've been applying severally with no response, or they keep telling you, sorry, we will not be moving forward with your application. Well, in this video, I'm going to give you guys a step-by-step guide that will not only show you where to search for these jobs, but how to actually get noticed by these employers. At the end of this video, I will share one overlooked tip that could be your gateway to landing your next job fast. So you want to stick around till the end. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Celine Chibuzo, and on this channel, I break down all you need to know about studying, living, and thriving in Canada. I also like to share my knowledge and experiences in life. If this sounds like something you like, why don't you go ahead and hit the subscribe button and turn on your notification bell so that you get notified whenever I post more videos. And for my old subscribers, thank you guys so much for always showing up. And so guys, without further ado, let's dive right into this video for today. The first step is knowing exactly where to search for jobs in Canada. Here are a few websites you can search for jobs in Canada. The first one is Indeed. Indeed is probably the most popular job search site in Canada. And in this site, you can actually filter for jobs based on your job type, based on your salary, and based on your location. The next one we're going to talk about is Job Bank. This is the official Government of Canada's Job Bank site. It not only shows you the jobs that are available, but also tell you jobs that are available and in demand in the province where you're currently residing. The next one is Glassdoor. One thing I like about Glassdoor is that it not only gives you the jobs that are available, but also lets you see reviews from previous employees. Let's say you had an invite for an interview, you can actually go to Glassdoor to see the reviews or past questions that people who had similar interview like you were asked. It will help you prepare very well for your interview. The next one is LinkedIn. This one is more like a gold mine for hiring managers. It gives you an opportunity to network and contact the hiring managers and company directly. The next place you want to check is your school career portal. If you're an international student, please make sure you keep checking your school career portal, because here they always post jobs that are exclusive. Sometimes these jobs are not posted out there. The employers want to hire students probably for a particular period, for the summer break, winter break, and things like that. So you want to make sure that you keep checking your website so that you can get these jobs. Another place you want to look for jobs is directly on the company's website. So if you know companies that you're interested in, you like to work for them, you can go online and Google these companies. Truth is, sometimes they have job opportunities that they do not post out there. If you go to their website and check on their careers, you'll be surprised to see they have some openings that are not even advertised. And one thing about them is sometimes, even if they do not have openings, they could tell you to create a profile, and when they have openings that match your skills, they will contact you. So this is one thing you guys want to check out. The last option is to walk into these companies or organizations. I did that myself. As a matter of fact, the first job I got, I literally walked in. I was walking into different stores, different shops, because I was a student at the time. I wanted to see if I could get a job. And it was when I walked into one of the places, I met the girl there and like, sorry, can I see your manager? And she's like, why do you want to see the manager? I said, I'm here to apply for a job. And the manager was not around at the time, but I connected with the girl. And that was when she told me someone had been trying to hire her, but because she had this job, she didn't want to take that one. And so she referred me for that job. And that was how I got my first job in Canada. So you can also walk into the companies, organization, malls, stores, wherever, and you never know, they could hire you. Okay, I'd like you guys to let us know in the comment section below what job sites or what job strategies have worked for you. You can drop it down, because everybody's here to learn. You never know, somebody can learn from your own experience. Now the second step is understanding the Canadian style resume. Truthfully, your resume is your ticket to an interview. Resume is what we call CV in some other places. In Canada, it's mostly called your resume. Canadian style resume is totally different from many other countries. So here, you don't want to put your gender, you don't want to put your age, your photo, your nationality, marital status. Nobody cares about that. You don't need to put it in your resume, because they could actually hurt you. Imagine putting such things in your resume, and unfortunately for you, the person who is reviewing your resume is somebody who doesn't like somebody from your country, for instance. You never know, they could be out there, and then they don't even give you a chance to appear. Something will just make them, no, let's just drop this, okay? But without all of this in your resume, it gives you an opportunity to be seen, to be heard, to defend yourself. and then let them know if you're qualified for the job or not. So this is one thing you guys want to keep in mind. And another thing about the Canadian style resume is focus on your skills. Also, when you're putting your experiences, you should start with the latest one, not the oldest one. Okay, so start with your current experiences. Another thing you guys want to do is please focus on the skills that are relevant to the job you're applying for. I know you might have done various things in the past, but for the job you're applying to, focus on what is relevant to that particular position at the time. You can say the other things you've done before, probably put them at the end or put them as other experiences, but you want to focus on what will give you strength in that application, because truthfully there are a lot of people applying for this job and you want to put your best foot forward. Also, the Canadian resume are typically 1 to 2 pages long, especially for new immigrants who do not have previous experiences here in Canada. You want to trim it and make it to be 1 to 2 pages long at max. When you're also stating your experiences, let us also see your results. For instance, you worked in sales. It's not enough to say responsible for sales. You should say things like, I drove company sales or I increased company sales by 20% in 6 months. Things like that. They want to see measurable achievements that you did, not just responsible for sales. I hope that makes sense. If you guys are enjoying this video so far, please leave a thumbs up and like, and let me know if you have questions in the comment section below. The third point is beating the ATS. That's called the applicant tracking system. Most companies in Canada use AI to scan your resume the first time before it actually gets to a human being. So if your resume does not beat the ATS, they could actually get dumped in the rejected pile, and you'll be wondering, why don't I get called? That is because your resume have not even passed the ATS. Now I'm going to give you guys tips on how to beat the ATS. The first thing you want to do is to avoid fancy templates. I had this experience when my husband first came to Canada. Advices here and there. You know, when you start doing some fancy templates, some people even put things like table in their resume and all that. The ATS does not scan certain parts. Okay, there are some people, the way they even put their name on top, put like a line, the ATS does not see that part, so they don't even have a way to contact you. So avoid fancy templates because the ATS could read it as an error. The next thing you want to do is to tailor your resume to the job that is being posted. You cannot use one resume to apply for several jobs in Canada. It's not going to work for you. For each time you want to apply for a job, go there and look at the job description. Try to make sure that it aligns with what you have in your resume. Search for keywords, add it to your resume. Of course, I'm not saying you should copy everything in the job description word for word. You're not the one that posted the job, right? So how is it possible that you have exactly the same thing that is in the job description on your resume? But what I'm trying to say is that make sure there is a match, at least 80 to 90% match. That way, when you submit your application and the ATS scans it, it's going to pass the first stage. That way, you're being invited for an interview. When your resume does not align with the job that is being posted, the system sees it that you're not qualified for the job and it just drops your resume by the corner and move on to the next person. The next thing you want to do is networking. Up to 65% of jobs in Canada are through networking. You can join LinkedIn group in your organization, you can attend virtual interviews, job fair, connect with alumni from your school or people from your home country who are already working in Canada. And when you connect with these people, don't always just ask for only jobs. Ask for advice, ask for information, ask for tips, interview questions that they had done during their times. It would help you a lot, not just jobs, but there are other helpful tips and information that you want to find out from them regarding the Canadian job market. The next step is be ready for interview. Once you've done everything I've stated and you start getting called for interview, you need to actually be ready. And how do you get ready for interview? You don't go to an interview blind. You don't just walk into an interview without getting prepared. Research the company, understand the role, and get ready to answer behavioral questions. I know a lot of people apply for different jobs. It's good you keep track of which one you're applying for so that they don't call you for an interview and you're confused. You're thinking, oh, this is for company A, this is for company B. Imagine arriving at an interview and they ask you, tell us what you know about our company, tell us what you know about the role, or why do you think you're the best candidate for this job, or when this happens, how will you react in this situation? And you're lost because you're not prepared, you did not research about the company, you don't even know anything about the company. You need to show them that you're actually interested in this company and that you've done your research. This is what you know about the company, and this is why you're interested in working in this company, okay? And lastly, this is the most overlooked strategy. That is volunteering. A lot of hiring managers want to see that you have Canadian work experience. And truth be told, if you're new to Canada, you actually do not have that experience. One way you can get Canadian work experience is by volunteering. Volunteering in your school, you can volunteer in organizations around you, and once you volunteer, you can add this in your resume as work experience in Canada. Even if the volunteer work you did does not necessarily align with the kind of job you want to do or the kind of job you're applying for, there are something called transferable skills. Your ability to relate with people, your ability to interact with people is something you can add. You can say you have good communication skills. You can say that you have good interpersonal skills, okay? You can say you have the ability to multitask depending on whatever it was you volunteered for. So this is one strategy that you guys do not want to overlook. I remember when I was still schooling, I volunteered for my school when they were having orientation for new international students. Do you guys know that volunteer work gave me another job that I did not even apply for? When I went for that volunteer with my friends, I met one of my professors and she was giving me tips on how to actually secure a job. She told me that after that volunteering role, I should send an email to the dean and the person that hired us and just express my gratitude and tell them that I'm open for future roles if anything comes up. And that was exactly what I did. I just sent them an email saying I was grateful for the opportunity to volunteer and that if ever they have opportunities in future, I'm open and more than willing to accept it. And I just stayed one day and received an email saying that I have a job offer. I was even thinking like, is it scam or what? I had to contact a friend of mine who was also a student working in the school to say, look at the email I got. Can you help me confirm if this is true? Because I did not apply for any job. And she had to confirm from the office. And they said, yes, they actually sent me that. So that was how I got a job that I did not apply for, guys. Volunteering is something you do not want to overlook. I hope you guys found this video helpful. Please give it a thumbs up. If you have any question, please drop it in the comment section below. If you also have any experiences you also like to share, please go ahead and drop it. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting for? Please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you get notified whenever I post more videos. Thank you so much, guys, and see you in my next video. Bye.